I'm going to demonstrate a shiftless scale, or in a 1-octave scale that doesn't require any shifting. For this, I'm going to use an A Mixolydian scale. The purpose of this is so we can practice some bowing basics and other just technical basics without having to think too much about what we're doing. So with an A Mixolydian scale, fingering's pretty straightforward. We just use open, 1, 4, open, 1, 4, open, 1, right? So fingering's straightforward, and first thing we're going to do is make sure that our left hand is set up the way we want it to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure our thumb, the pad of our thumb, is on the back of the neck, and it's perpendicular, or it's going this way on the back of the neck. This allows our hand and our fingers to come over the strings similarly perpendicularly or across the strings rather than angled one way or the other. And then we're going to spread our fingers out to match either a whole step between first and fourth finger, or a half step between first finger and second finger, or a half step between second finger and fourth finger. All right, and our ring finger, our third finger, is just going to be a buddy with second finger or fourth finger. All right, so we're just setting up the hand structure. We're just going to get used to playing the scale with that. You could pluck it, just focus on the left hand. Alright. And for our bow hold, we're just making sure our bow hold's what we want it to be. I'm putting my thumb against the thumb projection, as it's often called, or the kind of this front edge of the frog. I happen to have a grip on my bow that covers it, but I nestle the tip of my thumb against that and one of the bottom side facets of the stick, so it's nice and secure. My thumb curves out, and then my fingers are pretty relaxed. They hit the stick at this knuckle here. Right, that's where my fingers are kind of resting over the stick. My index finger is touching the stick at its first knuckle here, and so that way, and then my fingertips are kind of wrapping over the frog. So that way I have some gap between my palm and the stick. That's not touching. That gives me a lot of control with between my thumb and my fingers for my bow hold. All right, so we're getting left hand set up and bow hold set up, and we're going to play. First thing we're going to do is we're going to just play the scale with separate bows. So if we got left hand and right hand doing what we want it to do with separate bows, we can practice that a little bit. Once it's where we want it to be, then step 2 is to play it with 2 slurred, or slurring doing 2 slurred combinations. How do I want to put that? So it'll sound like this. Start getting comfortable with that. Do it a few times until you get comfortable with it. Probably until you can do it without thinking too hard about it. Then the next step 3, is to play the scale with 4 notes slurred. So it'll sound like this. Alright, so that's the 3 kind of introductory steps to using this shiftless A Mixolydian scale to practice some basic left hand and right hand technique.